Angel Reese got humbled on her home court. Caitlin Clark shocked the WNBA. And it all happened on the same Sunday afternoon in two different cities with two completely different outcomes. Before her home debut with the Atlanta Dream, Reese sat down with reporters and made a statement that would come back to haunt her. She was talking about facing Aja Wilson, four-time MVP, three-time champion, one of the greatest players in WNBA history. And Reese said this:
"She's obviously a great player. She's the MVP for a reason. But I know I'm also a good player too, and I can guard her well."
Bold words. The kind of confidence that separates stars from role players. But when you say something like that, when you put yourself in the same conversation as Aja Wilson, you create expectations. You set a standard. And if you don't meet that standard, the basketball world is going to let you know. Fast forward to the game. Angel Reese shot 1 for 8 from the field. She turned the ball over 8 times, more than half of her team's total turnovers. And when the Dream had one final chance to tie or win the game, Reese couldn't even complete the inbound pass. She literally could not get the ball onto the court. The Dream lost by 1 point at home in front of 17,000 fans. And Angel Reese, who started the day calling herself a great player, ended it as a cautionary tale about talking before you perform. Meanwhile, on that same Sunday afternoon, Caitlin Clark was doing something completely different in Indianapolis. She wasn't talking about being great. She was just being great. 21 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds in only 23 minutes. 0-39 to 0-45.
For Indiana, Clark from way downtown. She gets it to go.
The Fever's first home win of the season. And when reporters asked Clark about making history, she gave the most Caitlin Clark answer possible. Not really. Let me break down what happened on May 17, 2026. The day one player talked big and fell flat while another player stayed humble and made history. The Atlanta Dream came into Sunday's game with momentum. They were 2-0 to start the season, the last undefeated team in the WNBA. Angel Reese had struggled during the preseason after getting traded from Chicago, but she'd turned things around in the first 2 games and looked like the dominant force the Dream had traded for. Now she was about to make her home debut at State Farm Arena in front of what would become a sold-out crowd of over 17,000 fans. The opponent? The Las Vegas Aces, the defending WNBA champions. Led by Aja Wilson, who's won 4 MVP awards and 3 championships, and is widely considered one of the best players on the planet. So when reporters asked Reese about the matchup before the game, she had every right to be confident. What she said was this:
Just playing my game and knowing what I do best, but also knowing her game a lot. I've watched her game a lot.
Now here's the thing about that quote. On the surface, it's just confidence. But when you're comparing yourself to Aja Wilson, a 4-time MVP, you're setting a standard. And if you don't meet it, the basketball world is going to let you know. The game started and Angel Reese struggled from the beginning. The Dream fell behind by 19 points. They fought back, and with 36 seconds left, Jordan Canada's layup gave them an 84-83 lead. The home crowd went crazy. The Dream were about to stay undefeated. But then Chelsea Gray, the Aces' veteran point guard and one of the smartest players in the league, hit a 12-foot jumper with 3.8 seconds left to put Las Vegas back up by 1. 85-84. The Dream called timeout. They had one possession to either tie the game or win it. One play to keep their perfect season alive. And that's when everything fell apart for Angel Reese. The Dream tried to inbound the ball. Reese had the ball out of bounds, and she couldn't get it in. The defense was too tight, the passing lanes were closed, and Reese literally could not complete the inbound pass. Atlanta had to burn another timeout just to reset. On the second attempt, they got the ball to Tahina Pau, who passed it to Alicia Gray. But Chelsea Gray, who was having an incredible defensive possession, stripped the ball away to end the game. The Aces won 85-84. The Dream's undefeated season was over, and Angel Reese's stat line told the story of a nightmare performance. 1 for 8 shooting, 12.5% from the field, 9 points total, most of them from free throws, 8 turnovers, 8 rebounds, which was the first time all season she failed to reach double digits on the glass, and couldn't inbound the ball on the final play. Compare that to Aja Wilson's performance. 20 points on 6 of 12 shooting, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, and the win. Wilson didn't just beat Reese, she dominated her in every measurable way. If you want breakdowns like this on Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and everything happening in the WNBA, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Now let me tell you what Caitlin Clark was doing on that same Sunday while all of this was happening in Atlanta. While Angel Reese was struggling in Atlanta, Caitlin Clark was facing the Seattle Storm in Indianapolis. The Fever were 1-2, they'd lost both home games. And Aaliyah Boston was out for the first time in her professional career. 275 consecutive games ended. The Fever needed Caitlin Clark to be great. And she was. But first, what happened 2 days earlier matters. On Friday, the Fever lost to Washington in overtime. Clark finished with 32 points and what was initially recorded as 8 assists. But the WNBA issued a stat correction Sunday morning. 2 missed assists were added, bringing her total to 10. That correction made history. That correction meant something big. It meant Caitlin Clark had just recorded her second career game with at least 30 points and 10 assists. The first time she did it was in her rookie season against Chicago. 31 points and 12 assists. And with that second occurrence, she became the first player in WNBA history to have multiple games with 30 and 10. Nobody else has done it twice. But there was another record in that stat correction. With 10 assists against Washington, Clark now had 11 career games with at least 20 points and 10 assists. That broke the previous WNBA record of 10. So, when she stepped onto the court against Seattle on Sunday, she had a chance to break it. The Fever came out fast against Seattle. They went on a 15-0 run in the first quarter and built a 17-point lead. Clark was attacking the basket, getting to the free throw line, and setting up her teammates for open shots. By halftime, she already had 17 points. The Fever led 32-19 after the first quarter and 55-44 at the break. Seattle never really threatened after that. Indiana's defense tightened up in the second half, holding the Storm to just 14 points in the third quarter while building the lead to 77-58. The final score was 89-78, and the Fever had their first home win of the season. Caitlin Clark's final stat line: 21 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds, in 23 minutes. She only took 10 shots and made them count, getting to the free throw line 9 times and converting. And with those 10 assists, she set a new WNBA record: 12 career games with at least 20 points and 10 assists, more than anyone in league history. And she did it in her third season while playing in only 23 minutes, and without her all-star teammate on the floor. After the game, reporters told Clark about the record. They explained that with the stat correction from Friday and the performance against Seattle, she now owned the record for most 20-10 games in WNBA history. And they asked her if it meant anything special to her. This was Caitlin Clark's response. Not really. I mean, I always take pride in being able to set my teammates up for success. And I think that allows our team to really get flowing.
Not really. I mean, I always take pride in being able to set my teammates up for success, and
She just broke a WNBA record, and her answer is not really. Then she immediately gave credit to her teammates. When reporters asked about her efficiency, 21 points on only 10 shots, she said, "No reason to press. Get my teammates involved. Take what the defense gives me." And when she talked about her 10 assists in 23 minutes, she made sure everyone knew it wasn't just about her. They got to make the shots for me to get the assists, so half of it is them. Half of it is them. Compare that to Angel Reese saying, "I know I'm also a great player." One player needs to tell you she's great. The other player proves it, and then gives the credit away. That's the difference between confidence and humility. That's the difference between talking and leading. Clark even took a moment during the press conference to celebrate a teammate's milestone. KK Burdick came off the bench and scored her 100th career point during the game, and Clark made sure to acknowledge it. Shout out KK. She'd just broken a WNBA record herself, and she was using her media time to celebrate someone else's achievement. That's what real leadership looks like. Now let's put the two performances side by side because the contrast is stunning. Angel Reese told the world she's a great player, then shot 1 for 8 with 8 turnovers and lost at home. Caitlin Clark said not really when asked if breaking a WNBA record meant anything to her, then quietly dominated with 21, 10, and 7 while leading her team to victory. Reese compared herself to A'ja Wilson and got outplayed by 20 points. Clark didn't compare herself to anyone and just went out and set the all-time record for 20 and 10 games. Reese couldn't inbound the ball in the final possession. Clark barely broke a sweat in 23 minutes and still put up a double-double. The lesson here isn't that players shouldn't be confident. Confidence is important. Self-belief is necessary at the highest level. But there's a difference between confidence and arrogance. There's a difference between believing in yourself and needing to announce it to the world. Angel Reese felt the need to tell everyone she's a great player before proving it on the court. And when she failed to back up those words, the basketball world held her accountable. Caitlin Clark didn't need to tell anyone anything. She just showed up, dominated, broke a record, and gave all the credit to her teammates. One approach leads to embarrassment. The other leads to greatness. Angel Reese walked into State Farm Arena on Sunday and told the world she belongs in the same conversation as A'ja Wilson. Then she shot 1 for 8, turned the ball over 8 times, and watched her team lose by 1 point at home. Caitlin Clark walked into Gainbridge Fieldhouse that same day and didn't say a word about records or greatness. She just dropped 21, 10, and 7 in 23 minutes, broke the WNBA record for most 20 and 10 games in history, led the Fever to their first home win, and when reporters asked her about it, she said, "Not really," and gave all the credit to her teammates. One player got humbled, the other one made history. And the basketball world just learned the difference between someone who says they're great and someone who actually is. What do you think? Does this prove Caitlin Clark is on a different level? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest on Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and everything happening in the WNBA. We'll see you in the next one.